Telomeres are sections of DNA that are found at the ends of chromosomes and seem to play a role in aging. Telomeres are the caps that protect the ends of DNA strands from being destroyed by a cell. They are made up of areas of repeated DNA sequences, combined with specific proteins, at the ends of chromosomes, the tightly wound structures of DNA and proteins inside cells. Telomeres play a role in how fast cells age, though exactly how isn't totally clear. Organisms without circular chromosomes, including humans, other animals, plants and even single-celled protists, have telomeres. Telomeres act as barriers, preventing DNA from being degraded and corrupted. If our cells did not have telomeres, cellular machinery would chew away the ends of the chromosomes and into essential genes. The cell might also attach the end of one chromosome to the end of another, would be a disastrous event for a cell. Since our chromosomes are linear pieces of DNA, a structure called the telomere has evolved that protects the natural ends of the chromosomes from being recognized as DNA damage. Each time a cell divides, some part of the repeating sequence in a telomere is lost. When telomeres become too short to function effectively, a cell either dies or stops dividing. So, because most cells cannot regenerate their telomeres, they become shorter as people age. The rate at which telomeres shorten has also been associated with rates of aging. What is the function of telomeres? In humans and all vertebrates, telomeres repeat the nucleotide sequences TIG, 2-thymine, 1-adenine and 3-guanine molecules. Nucleotides are the molecules that make up the sequence of DNA. In humans, this sequence can repeat up to about 3,000 times, but the number of repeats varies for different species. At the end of a telomere, there is a kind of knot called a T-loop, which is maintained by a specific protein structure called a shelterin complex. The T-loop and shelterin make it more difficult for the cell to destroy DNA at the end of a chromosome, while the repeated sequences provide layers of genetic code that the cell can destroy without interfering with the DNA it needs to function. In most cells, telomeres get shorter over time as the cell destroys more of their genetic code. However, some cells, such as stem cells, which generate the body's many types of specialized cells, and germline cells, which form eggs and sperm, can use an enzyme called telomerase to regenerate their telomeres. Some research indicates that there might be ways to increase telomere length slightly in other types of cells. Chromosome and cell nucleus, with telomere and DNA, concept for a human biology. Telomeres and aging. Most cells cannot regenerate their telomeres, causing them to become shorter over the lifetime of both a cell and an organism. Telomere shortening really sets a lifespan on our cells by limiting the number of populations, doublings or proliferation cells can undergo. The nature of telomeres and the existence of the enzyme telomerase, many studies have supported a link between biological age, telomere length, overall health and mortality. A 2003 study in the journal The Lancet found that, in a sample of apparently healthy people, over age 60, who researchers followed over time, people with shorter telomeres had higher rates of mortality from both heart disease and infectious diseases. In 2013, the first study of its kind found that lifestyle changes in exercise, diet, stress management and social support were associated with increased telomere length in a small group of men with low-risk prostate cancer. A 2022 review found that regular moderate to vigorous physical activity appeared to help preserve telomere length. The rate of telomere shortening has been tied to lifespan in a variety of organisms. A 2019 study in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences found that, while a general measurement of an organism's telomere length didn't have any correlation with lifespan, the more quickly an organism's telomeres decreased in length, the shorter their lifespan was. The exact causes of aging are still not understood, and it is unclear why some species live less than, while others can live more than, reads the study's striking opening. Telomeres could help shed light on this long-standing mystery. A 2021 study in the journal Geoscience posits that the consequences of telomere length could impact how old a person looks. Researchers examined survey results from over 400,000 participants in the UK Biobank, a large database of health information from people living in the United Kingdom. They found that people who had genetic predictors of longer telomere length were more likely to say that. People tended to think they looked younger than their age. Telomeres and cancer. Major way telomeres are linked to health is through cancer risk. When telomeres become very short, DNA copied during cell division is more likely to be corrupted, which can increase cancer risk. Another way a telomere malfunction could lead to cancer is if the telomerase enzyme becomes active in cells where it shouldn't be. Pretty much every single cancer cell has found mechanisms to maintain the telomeres and overcome the telomere shortening pathway. And that is what keeps cancer cells immortal. The body tries to thwart cancer by preventing cells with overly short telomeres from dividing, which is called senescence. How telomeres can trigger cell death. They talk to a cell's mitochondria, its energy provider, to cause deadly inflammation during crisis, the initiation of programmed cell death, in response to critically short telomeres. The process sheds light on how telomeres help prevent cells from becoming cancerous. Though some research suggests that protecting, or even regenerating, telomeres could extend lifespan, the risk of causing cancer makes this dicey. I would very much caution against the approaches that simply elongate telomeres. We know that will lead to cancer, and not necessarily to a long lifespan. Rather than trying to extend lifespan and reverse aging, researchers should be more focused on extending health span, the amount of time they spend in good health. One of the purposes of the aging process really is to prevent cancer occurrence. We should welcome aging as a cancer suppressive mechanism. What is a telomere? Telomeres are distinctive structures found at the ends of our chromosomes. They consist of the same short DNA sequence, repeated over and over again. Telomeres are sections of DNA found at the ends of each of our chromosomes. They consist of the same sequence of bases, repeated over and over. In humans, the telomere sequence is TIG. This sequence is usually repeated about 3,000 times and can reach up to 15,000 base pairs in length. What do telomeres do? Telomeres serve three major purposes. They help to organize each of our 46 chromosomes in the nucleus of our cells. They protect the ends of our chromosomes by forming a cap, much like the plastic tip on shoelaces. If the telomeres were not there, our chromosomes may end up sticking to other chromosomes. They allow the chromosome to be replicated properly during cell division. Every time a cell carries out DNA replication, the chromosomes are shortened by about 25 to 200 bases per replication. However, because the ends are protected by telomeres, the only part of the chromosome that is lost is the telomere, and the DNA is left undamaged. Without telomeres, important DNA would be lost every time a cell divides. This would eventually lead to the loss of entire genes. What happens to telomeres as we age? Each time a cell divides, 25 to 200 bases are lost from the ends of the telomeres on each chromosome. Two main factors contribute to telomere shortening during cell division. The end replication problem during DNA replication accounts for the loss of about 20 base pairs per cell division. Oxidative stress accounts for the loss of between 50 to 100 base pairs per cell division. The amount of oxidative stress in the body is thought to be affected by lifestyle factors such as diet, smoking and stress. When the telomere becomes too short, the chromosome reaches a critical length and can no longer be replicated. This critical length triggers the cell to die by a process called apoptosis, also known as programmed cell death. How is telomere length maintained? Telomerase is an enzyme that adds the TIG telomere sequence to the ends of chromosomes. Telomerase is only found in very low concentrations in our somatic cells. Because these cells do not regularly use telomerase, they age, leading to a reduction in normal function. The result of aging cells is an aging body. Telomerase is found in high levels in germline cells and stem cells. In these cells, telomere length is maintained after DNA replication and the cells do not show signs of aging. Telomerase is also found in high levels in cancer cells. This enables cancer cells to be immortal and continue replicating themselves. If telomerase activity was switched off in cancer cells, their telomeres would shorten until they reached a critical length. This would prevent the cancer cells from dividing uncontrollably to form tumors. The action of telomerase allows cells to keep multiplying and avoid aging. Use of telomeres in medicine. Research on telomeres and the role of telomerase could uncover valuable information to combat aging and fight cancer. The medical relevance of telomeres is uncertain. Human cells cultured in the lab have been observed to stop dividing when telomerase is inactivated because the length of telomeres is not maintained after cell division. The cells then enter a state of inactivity called senescence. However, once telomerase is reactivated, the cells are able to continue dividing. If telomerase can be used to help human cells live forever, it may also be possible to mass-produce cells for transplantation. These cells could help to treat a range of conditions, from severe burns to diabetes. Telomeres and aging. Mice models lacking the enzyme telomerase were found to show signs of premature aging. However, it is not certain whether telomere shortening is responsible for aging in humans or whether it is just a sign of aging, like gray hair. There are several indications that telomere length is a good predictor of lifespan. Newborn babies tend to have telomeres ranging in length from around 8,000 to 13,000 base pairs. It has been observed that this number tends to decline by around 20 to 40 base pairs each year. So, by the time someone is 40 years old, they could have lost up to 1,600 base pairs from their telomeres. However, looking at the bigger picture, the overall shortening of our telomeres is not significant, even in very old people. Cells that divide rapidly, such as germ cells and stem cells, are among the few cell types in our bodies containing active telomerase. This means that in these cells, telomere length is maintained or even lengthened over time. However, there are a number of other factors that have an effect on the length of our telomeres that all need to be considered, such as smoking and obesity. Telomeres and cancer. Telomeres and telomerase present a number of potential targets for the design of new cancer therapies. Cancer cells contain active telomerase to enable them to become immortal and continue dividing uncontrolled. Cancer is a disease characterized by the rapid and uncontrolled division of cells. Without telomerase activity, these cells would become inactive, stop dividing and eventually die. Drugs that inhibit telomerase activity or kill telomerase-producing cells may potentially stop and kill cancer cells in their tracks. However, blocking telomerase activity could affect cells where telomerase activity is important, such as sperm, eggs, platelets and immune cells. Disrupting telomerase in these cell types could affect fertility, wound healing and the ability to fight infections. However, telomerase activity in somatic cells is very low. These cells would therefore be largely unaffected by anti-telomerase therapy. Scientists hope this would result in fewer side effects for the patient compared to current cancer therapies. Telomere biology is incredibly important in human cancer and scientists are working hard to understand the best way to exploit their knowledge of it to advance the treatment of cancer. We made extra efforts to produce such kind of informative videos. If you feel that this video gives you some kind of valuable information, then like and subscribe this channel. Share this video with your family and friends. Hit the bell icon so that you will not miss any such kind of informative videos.